All right. Mr. Suanu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Apostle.
Good evening, sir.
Well done.
Yeah. So I would have loved that we read your profile, but you know, because of time and all of that, I want us to just go straight ahead. The best book in the continent right now. If you don't have this book, please get one. And the author is about to speak to us. Mr. Suanu, like I said yesterday, I have read a lot of books on finances, but I have never read a book that is kingdom focused, that has the kingdom on the background. I think quite a few people, John Darius, I can see you in the comment section, you have a copy. You know, this book have really, really transformed my heart. The verses of scripture used are within context, you know, and everything there are step-by-step principles that if you follow, wealth is guaranteed. So, Mrs. Suanu, it's such a honor to have you here. I know your schedules are very, very tight, but thank you for availing yourself to speak to us tonight. I know that our lives will not be the same. So please, sir, we would like you to go ahead. I know a lot of people are already making comments about how can they get the book. The book is on Amazon, and also Mr. Suanu will give us further instructions on how to get the book. So Mr. Suanu, please, the floor is yours now. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Greetings, everybody. Can you hear me clearly?
For me, I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good dear. Well done, man. All right.
Well done, Rector.
Yeah, well done. All right, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, Apostle, for this great privilege. I think I was part of CORE50, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. So my name is Suanu Moni. I am a kingdom passionate financier. Let's put it like that. Okay. But why am I excited to be here? First of all, my core is getting involved with people who are passionate about the kingdom, especially on the mountain of economy. Okay, because that's where the Lord has called me to, and not just to be there, but to be a light and a sign to help people, to point the way, you know, for them to make the strides that God has called them to make. You know, so when I see a gathering of people who are passionate about the kingdom and have, you know, God's end time agenda on their hearts, then, you know, it's a blessed place to be. So thank you again, Apostle, for the opportunity. Also, thank you, Elisha Maman, for the fiery words you just shared. You know, as I was listening to it, I was like, hey, how am I going to follow up on this one? But the Lord will give utterance. So thank you again. And for all those who have joined, it's a pleasure to be in your midst. I hope the few minutes I have, I would share something that hopefully will ignite the fire in your heart, you know, to pursue God and his kingdom. So without further ado, I'll just go into what I have. There's no particular, you know, script, but what I want to say is to write on what Elisha Maman has said. You know, the kingdom we're talking about, since we're talking about kingdom culture, is a kingdom that has its foundation on what is called stewardship. Okay, the world as we know it today, the world runs not on stewardship, it actually runs on slavery. Okay, slavery. And that's why the economic systems of the world are called the debt-based monetary system. And debt is literally another word for slavery. Yeah. So everything you see around you in the world is based on that model. However, the kingdom is counter the world. And only those people who are counter the world can actually survive and take strides in the kingdom. Okay, so the kingdom is based on stewardship. Okay, so we live and we move and we make strides under a stewardship-based economy. So have that at the back of your mind, because that's key to what Elisha Maman touched on. And it is expected of stewards to be found what? Faithful. Okay.
Faithful.
So he talked about faithfulness, and that's critical. If you're not faithful, forget it. You're not going to go anywhere in this kingdom. So that's a key point. If you're not faithful, you're not going to go anywhere in this kingdom. And the king of this kingdom is not mocked. The Bible tells us that as a man sows, so also he reaps. That is a foundational scripture for the kingdom. Literally, that is the governing law of wealth, sowing and reaping. And not in the sense that we look at it from church, oh, give, and then, no, that's part of it. But it is a fundamental in the kingdom. So what are you sowing as actions? What are you sowing as input into your workplace, etc., etc.? That is what is going to determine what you're going to get out of the kingdom. So I'm going to touch on 3 or 4 points. Then I'll tell a little bit about my story and my journey, and then I'll open it up for questions, okay? So the first thing I'm going to say is that contrary to what a lot of Christians believe, those who are called to the kingdom, especially in the area of finances, you have to understand that if you are to make maximum impact in the kingdom, you have to disabuse your mind from a religious mindset. A religious mindset. What you have to adopt to make it on the economy mountain is an ambassadorial mindset. You have to be an ambassador. If you don't have that mindset, and it's very countercultural, because what they teach you is, you know, you work, you do a lot of maybe sowing of seeds and all of that, and nothing wrong with all those things. They're principles, but when applied wrongly, you don't get the desired results. And you can keep faithing it as much as you want, but you're not going to see real traction in what you're doing. But the ambassador is one who is sent from his home country into a new territory with a primary assignment. So for you to be a kingdom financier, you must have understood your assignment. If you don't understand what your assignment is for, forget it. Nothing happens, because you must be sent with an assignment for you to get the provisions required for what that assignment was given to you for. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So get in your mind that if I'm going to be a kingdom financier, number one, what is my assignment? Spend your time praying, fasting, seeking the face of the king for that assignment, because that is your ticket. Once the guy that has been picked to be the ambassador, American ambassador to Nigeria is picked, he doesn't discuss anything but his assignment from the president. And once he gets his marching orders and his briefing, every other thing that he needs, the plane to take him to Nigeria, the consulate where he would stay in Nigeria, even the food, down to the food, they fly the food that the ambassador eats directly from America. He's not allowed to eat Nigerian food, just in case, so that it does not mess up his assignment. So everything that has to do with you and your assignment will be given to you. So that's the mindset. So the religious mindset is not like that. We just think we're going to travel along, we're going to do things, and hopefully God will see our suffering and he will bless us. It doesn't work like that for the kingdom person. You know, so that's it's a mind shift. So that's the first thing. And then secondly, God is not interested in your comfort. I know that might sound very strange to a lot of people. As a kingdom person, as a kingdom financier, God is not interested in your comfort, but he is interested in the expansion of his kingdom agenda. So we're going back again to assignment. So once you can clarify what that assignment is, you are sure that the provision is going to be made available. But if you think that God is interested in your comfort, then you've misplaced your priorities. So that's another thing that you have at the back of your mind. And then secondly or thirdly, to know when you talk to people who claim to be kingdom financiers and maybe God has blessed them or they've run into money, however they run into it, just like Elisha Mama was saying, people can run into money in different ways. And then they hide behind, oh, I'm a kingdom financier. You can spot who is not a kingdom financier based on how they speak, right? The kingdom financier will tell you something like, I am worth 10 million, I am worth 10 billion. That person is not a kingdom financier.
True.
A kingdom financier or a kingdom steward will tell you he stewards over, because in the kingdom, you don't own anything.